like Christmas. What's up, guys? So I bought a bunch of stuff from Williams Sonoma and I'm really excited. I just opened up all the boxes. It felt like Christmas. During Thanksgiving, we made dinner for all of our family. It was a success, thankfully. And after that, I was thinking maybe I should get some new equipment. So I went on Williams Sonoma. I saw they're having a sale. I kind of went crazy, and I had to ask my wife, is this okay? Because I feel like I'm spending a lot of money. But anyway, I bought a bunch of stuff, just little things to help make cooking a lot more efficient. And I'm just gonna go over a few of them just so, you know, see how I like it. So for Asian cooking, there's a lot of like little sauces, a lot of little ingredients that I add afterwards. And when I cook with my wok, it actually is, you know, it's kind of a hassle to gather all the ingredients as I'm cooking, because then if I'm cooking with high heat, I could burn the ingredients. So I went and got a bunch of small little bowls. I think they're like 3.5 inches each. And then it came in a set with 8. So there are 4 small ones. I have 4 bigger ones. These are probably about 5 inches. And these are actually a lot denser than the ones that I have. So that's kind of nice. The quality's, you know, so far so good. Next, I have a microplane, a rasp microplane, and I never had one before, but you know, I'll try this out at some point. You know, it'll be good for like zesting lemons or you know, ginger, especially in a lot of Asian cooking. So next we have this handle holder. I'm gonna start with the small stuff first, and I'll show you why I bought this handle holder in a little bit. But essentially, it's just a little, it has some silicone. I don't know what this is actually. I think it's silicone and some cotton. It's just a little tube you can stick a cast iron handle in. And I bought this after I realized I wanted a new cast iron. So this is a Lodge cast iron that I got. I have a cast iron already that I got secondhand from my sister, but I've been looking for another cast iron because I feel like the one that I have isn't as smooth as I would like. Right now, I know that Lodge makes really good cast irons. I went with Lodge because they're made in the USA. I saw on Amazon they have some other cast irons that were about the same price, if not cheaper. But just reading reviews, I saw that some people say that if it's made in China, they might put like certain metals like lead, or just certain metals that aren't really good if it's heated up. You can't really heat it up to the maximum temperature. You can't go past 400 degrees, which if it's cast iron doesn't really make a lot of sense if you can't go a high heat and you can't put it in the oven high heat. So I went ahead and went with Lodge. This is their obviously cast iron, but it's the Chef Collection. So I'm not exactly sure all the differences are, but to my knowledge, the Chef Collection compared to their classic has a smoother ridges, so it kind of goes in very smoothly. And the biggest thing, the reason why I got this one is because this is lighter than their classic cast iron. So normally when we cook with the cast iron, it's usually me who cooks with it and cleans with it, because the normal one that we have is too heavy for my wife to clean. Which is okay, you know, I don't mind cleaning it, but this one I can feel it's noticeably lighter. I'll probably weigh it later on to see what the weight difference is compared to the one that we have, but I do feel that it is lighter. It's a little bit thinner than their classic one also, so that's where the weight savings comes from. And overall, I think it looks pretty nice. It doesn't look too rough. So let me take this off really quick. So it says here it's seasoned, ready to use. Another thing I noticed too is that the handle is arched a little bit. So normally the large ones are just straight across. There's not much arch into it, and I feel like this is just a better handle to hold with, more ergonomical, and you could just flip stuff a lot easier, you know, if I'm trying to be a little bit extra. But anyway, so one thing that they do with the large cast irons is they do pre-season it, and it's a good or bad thing. It's just based on preference. When they season the pans, it's a little bit rough compared to some of the older, the more antique cast irons. They're a lot smoother. They're ground finished. The benefit of having it pre-seasoned is that if you are to season it, the seasoning sticks a lot better. But you know, again, it's based on preference. Some people like a smooth finish. If you have a smoother finish, it's a lot easier to clean. Eggs, they might or may not stick on this, but if it's a lot smoother, if it's ground to a finish, it might just slide around just like a non-stick. So I think what I'm planning to do is I'm probably gonna grind this down, sand it down, make it completely smooth, and we'll fry up some eggs in this. So that's the cast iron. I'm gonna put that aside for now. Last thing that I got from Williams in Sonoma is a wok. So I have had 2 woks. I actually still have them. One of them I think I'm gonna give to my sister, so that brings me down to 1. And this one, I'll be honest, I got it from Williams Sonoma because it was cheap. It was on sale. But I do like certain qualities about this wok. So just from the first appearance, it does look like it was hammered. It's not very smooth. There's like little ridges, little dents in it. You know, based on what I've seen is that sometimes it is hammered, and some of those hammerings, they kind of let food stick a little bit easier, or when you're like stir frying, so it's not just sliding off. It will be non-stick though after I season it. Another thing I got this one is because this one has a wooden handle. So the one I have that is round bottom, it's all metal, and on the stove here, it does get hot every now and then. So it's good to have a wooden handle. And then another thing too is it doesn't have a helper handle, which for myself, when I cook with the wok, normally I don't need the helper handle because my wrists are strong enough to just grab it with one hand, and I can clean it with one hand. And I noticed that when I flip food in it, sometimes the handle kind of gets in the way. It gets a little greasy. Food, it'll hit the helper handle sometimes, and it'll fall out. It'll go on the stove. So I wanted this one because it didn't have the helper handle. These rivets on the side are actually pretty pronounced. And I know a lot of hand hammered woks, it's actually completely smooth. It's hammered from one piece of steel, so they don't have these rivets. I don't know how it'll, you know, affect the cooking, because I know sometimes food gets stuck on there, it might burn on there, or you know, water might get on there and it might rust. We'll just have to see over time. So I'm probably gonna season this with flaxseed oil once I prepare it for cooking. I'm thinking I'm probably gonna do like 3 coats minimum, and then I might season it on the stove as well. For the handle, I'm not really digging this raw finish that they have. It's a little bit too raw for me. I feel like if food gets on it, it might stain it, like oil might seep in, or I don't know how dirty it's gonna get, but if it does get pretty bad, or if like I wash it and the water doesn't, if I don't wipe it off right away, will it crack or will it splinter in the future? I'm not exactly sure, so I'm probably gonna take it off and have it sand it down, maybe put some gloss on it and protect it from water. So that's what I'm gonna do. Also, this one came with a wok ring. So you could put this on the stove. You could put it on a butane burner, I guess, and you can also put it on the table just to stand your wok, just so it's not, you know, just so it's in place. So that's one thing I liked. This overall, I think it was around $30. I know prices change. We'll try to have the link in the description. And I think the cast iron was $30. Normally it's $40. I just noticed there, I'm not sure if this is a chip right here, but I can kind of see like some gray speck. I don't know if this could be rubbed off. But the Lodge cast iron was $30 on sale, but normally it's $40. I don't remember the rest of the prices, but try to link it in the description so you guys can see it. And if you guys like it, you guys will buy it for yourselves. So I think that's all for that, for the unboxing from Williams-Sonoma. Next, again, I kind of went crazy. But I got some stuff on Amazon that I've been wanting to get as well. First things first is I got a little salt container. So this is a Dash of Blue from Amazon. And it's maybe a 3 inches by 2.5, 3.5 by 2.5. And it's just a container, or it's 4 inches, my wife's correcting me, 4 inches by 3, something like that. I like it because it's pretty big. I've seen some salt containers that they're kind of deep, and some of them are kind of small, and I have chubby fingers, so it's easier when it's a bigger opening. Also, the lid is kind of easy to just take on and off. I know it's not the ones that swivel around, but I like the way it looks. I think it looks nice, so that's why I got that. And lastly, I got this olive oil and vinegar set. This is by Green Olive. This way. I think these are 500 milliliter containers. They have these nice weighted lids, or the pouring spouts are weighted, so if you were to tilt it down, it'll open up, and then when you put it back down, it closes back up. So I just like the way these looked. So I'm probably gonna put olive oil in one of these, extra light olive oil, and then instead of vinegar, I don't use vinegar very often, I'm gonna put avocado oil in this one. So that's that. So again, they're both lift and pour. We'll see how that goes. But that's all for our unboxing, for our haul. Feels a little unnatural right now. I see my wife, she's standing right there. She's looking at me all weird. This is the first time we're making a video.